YouTube, what's good? It's TJK, Tyler. I'm here to talk about the Xbox, both of them. So let's get into it. Thanks for pulling up. Okay. This is off the fly. I'm doing this off the dome. We're going to talk about this Xbox. I'm hyped. Y'all. Now we got the Xbox Series S right here, the trailer playing in the background. This Xbox is $299. $299. And we're getting the AMD CPUs in here. We're getting the AMD GPUs. This GPU has 4 teraflops, custom SSD, at 512 gigs, I believe. Like it says here, nearly 60% smaller than the Xbox Series X, which is crazy because they're doing the size comparison. Look at that sheet. And mind you, some people I've seen, so a lot of people get confused. This isn't the same power as this. This is a dumbed down version of the X. This will not perform the same as this. Some people think it's this without the drive. That's not the case. PlayStation is doing that. They're doing a PlayStation 5 and a PlayStation 5 without a drive with the same specs. So when they drop their price, understand why the one without the drive doesn't cost as low as the Series S here. The Series S, this is, I want to say half the performance, less than half the performance than the X. And we'll do the side by side specs in a second. 10 gigs. Oh, we can do the specs, I guess. But yeah, look at that difference. That's crazy. Here, let me pull up the specs because now I want to talk about the specs. As you can see here, let me zoom this in. The Series X is on the left, the Series S is on the right. CPU. Now, we have the same type of CPU, it's just slower on the S. As you see here, 3.8 gigahertz and 3.6. I don't know what the difference there is with SMT enabled. Here, got 3.6 and 3.4 with that enabled. The GPU, we go to, they're both AMD GPUs. They seem to be the same. It's just different cores, different speeds, and obviously the power is way different. The power is way different. But you have the AMD RDNA at 20. I want to say cores. I don't know what they mean by CUs. At 1.5 on the S, 1.8 on the X. GPU power 12.15 teraflops. On the S, you got 4 teraflops. And to relate that to like a NVIDIA card, the Series X would relate to a 2080, 2070 Super maybe. And the Series S would relate to a GTX 1660, I want to say. 1660. And you have their custom Xbox chips in there. RAM, big difference here. 16 gigs of RAM, finally hitting the standards on the X. 10 gigs of RAM on the S. Take what you get. $299, that's fire. That's fire for $299. RAM, bro, 16 gigs of RAM costs you 32 gigs of RAM costs you, keep that in mind, costs you around 150. So that's 32 gigs of RAM. I've half that for the 16, obviously. And so they got 10 gigabytes of their RAM going at 560 gigabytes a second, and then 6 gigabytes at 336 gigabytes. That's crazy. And over here, you see that. You know the procedures. Performance target. Now, this is what I'm saying. Here's the target 4K at 60 frames. This is on the Xbox website. This is their spec sheet coming straight from them. 4K at 60 frames a second on the X. And then this right here is other resolutions up to 120. Keep that in mind. Now, these game developers, now the power is here. The power is in the console. Now it's up to the developers to say, and I feel bad for them because they got so many consoles to work with. They got, Nintendo if they want to put it over there. And then they got the PC game they have a lot of different avenues that they have to optimize these games for, specifically for the hardware on the consoles. So they really have to specifically make these games. If they want a game to run at 4K at 60, they gotta put in that extra time for the Xbox X, to make it run at that speed and resolution. And then they also have to take another portion of time and effort and teams to make sure it's running at 1440p at 60 on the S. And then they have to take another group and team, or the same ones but at another time, make sure the PlayStation's working at the targeted frames and whatever they want and can do for that game on that system. And then they gotta make sure the PC's optimized. Sometimes you get a game on console. I remember Batman Arkham Knight on console. It was cool. On PC, that shit was, it could not run. And then a week later, they updated it. It was perfect. But shit's crazy. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about what the targets are, what it can do. It's really gonna come down to the developers of the games and the studios. It's up to them at the end of the day how the games will run. Storage now and this is also crazy, y'all. So we're about to talk about the storage. 1 terabyte custom NVMe SSD on the Xbox One X. It runs at 2.4 uncompressed, 4.8 compressed. Same thing on the, because they're the same new custom storage. Same thing on the S, but it's half. 512 gigs. Now, if you're getting Call of Duty, I imagine the one I got is running almost 200 gigs by now. 200 gigs for one game. And now they have these custom SSDs, and they're trying to make their console run to where you need an SSD to have a game on there. This is crazy. And Seagate, one of the ones they're promoting for you to buy, that's what, $250 for what, 2 terabytes or 1 terabyte? Either way, way too much money to expand the storage. They're trying to say now you can't use your regular hard drives for expandable storage. You can for music, movies, and you can even hold games on there, but then you have to transfer the game onto the SSD. It's kind of messed up, and they're just forcing this on you. Therefore, maybe that's why it's so cheap, because they know they gonna have to buy some storage, and that's gonna be an arm and a leg. Yeah. See, this is right here, expandable storage. I didn't even know that was on the spec sheet. Wow, they're trash for this. I'm sorry. If anything, this is the most negative thing about this entire new generation to me, is the expandable storage. It's a 1 terabyte card that has to match the internal storage exactly. That's crazy. Wow. Backwards compatibility. Thousands of Xbox One and Xbox 360 and Xbox original games available at launch. Xbox game accessories will be compatible, thank God. Now the disk drive, obviously on the X we got a 4K, on the S digital only. Display out's the new, going to be the standard, HDMI 2.1. Make sure you got that. And here's the price: $499, $299. And you trade in your console. Hey, maybe you have a PS4 and an Xbox. Maybe you started with PS4, got an Xbox One X down the line. You became an Xbox family member. You don't even care about Sony. Trade both those consoles in. If you want the S, sheesh, both those consoles, man, what? Maybe you spending $100, and on the X, maybe you spending 200, 175. Who knows? Depends where you trade it, where you sell it, how much you get. But that's gonna be if you do something like that and you get something juicy, that's some nice savings right there. And they're doing a Xbox All Access where you can finance it for, on the left side you can do it for 35 a month for 24 months, and on the right side 25 a month for 24 months, and you get the Xbox Unlimited that comes with Xbox Live, Xbox Game Pass, Xbox Project X Cloud, the streaming service, which is actually very good and worth it. And they're throwing in EA All Access in that motherfreaker. So you get all of EA's games that they drop on their day one. fire. It's all fire except for the storage. Like the storage is by far the most confusing. And also, I've heard some things about backwards compatibility, but I'm gonna wait for them to speak more on it. But man, that storage is crazy. That's crazy. Ah, they need to fix that. They need to do something. That I'm salty. And then, all right, let's talk about the performance again. Now, if you got a regular TV, you're not hitting any of this. You're gonna just get your 1080p at 60 frames. Now, this is gonna change a lot of people's playstyle, a lot of people's gaming rooms. If you're used to putting your, because a lot of people, the average consumer, is definitely just putting their console in their regular TV. Even if it's a 4K TV, not all 4K TVs support more than 60 frames. It's the OLEDs, the high end OLEDs, not even regular the low end. It's the newer high end OLEDs that support 4K 120 hertz. So that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. So if you ain't in that bracket, which I'm not yet, hopefully someday in my life I can get an OLED TV. That's my dream TV, by the way. But you gonna people are gonna start by have to get some monitors. I recommend. It depends on the size, because honestly, what a 24-inch monitor at 1080p looks like a 2K monitor. I'm gonna keep it real. It looks crispy, but nowadays the 2K monitors are worth it. And I have to tell you this: if you're getting the X, I still recommend you getting a 2K monitor. It's so small. The size differences makes it changes the whole game. The fact that it's like 27 inches at the I think is what I have in front of me. 4K would make next to no difference in my opinion at that size of a screen. And that's the but either way, no matter what you get, 4K 144 hertz, no matter what you get on a monitor, you need the monitor to experience these new frame rates that the consoles are finally hitting. And not only that, the Xbox and I think PlayStation too, but I know for sure Xbox has mouse and keyboard support. I think it's game to game basis, but I know I have to hope with my heart that at least the first person shooters, because for me personally, I play on PC, right? First person shooters, multiplayer online, I'm playing with the keyboard and mouse. If I'm playing a story game, I'm gonna pick up a controller, Bluetooth it to my computer. I'm gonna play with the controller. If I'm playing a story campaign driven game, I'm not trying to use the mouse and keyboard. I'm gonna pick up a controller. So same thing for the Xbox. So you play your Fortnites, your Call of Duties, or Battlefields, Apex, whatever you're playing. Valorant's not on there yet. It's still in beta on PC. But what the games you're playing, pick and choose. I'm sure they're gonna have those first person shooters compatible with the keyboard and mouse. So you're good to go there, and it's gonna be extra nice when you hit that 120 hertz on console. Before, when they had the keyboard support, it didn't make sense to me playing 60 and less frames with a keyboard and mouse. When you're playing with a mouse, you're going like you're making fast movements. 60 frames, unfortunately, doesn't keep up with that fast movement. It just does not feel right. And then when you put less than 60, trash. I'm sorry, but we're here. We're here. We are here, and this is crazy to me. We finally hit the moment, the day where I can't knock anybody for saying that. Just like I hit it on consoles. I have consoles. I got them everywhere. I have the PS4 Pro. I have two PS4 Pros. If you want to know why, ask me in the comments. I got an Xbox One X. I got them. I still don't recommend it over a PC. But now, Xbox One X, Series X, Xbox Series S, even PlayStation 5, I recommend it over a PC. Unless you really want to spend some money, unless you like, you want to build a PC with your hands, unless you like the RGB. You see that I have like a little bit of my PC in frame. Unless you like the colors, like the design, you're not going to get anything a design anywhere close to what you can do on PC with the console. Honestly, the PS5 is the closest thing to like one of like the nicest design I've ever seen. And they got the the strip on the light strip with the white case It'll reflect off that. It's gonna be fire, design wise. Uh, we're not talking about PlayStation here. This is about the Xbox. If you want to know the specs and all that and how it compares, you can do that later in the week when they have their presentation on the 16th, and 3 days from now. We can go over it then. But yeah, here in the games are going to be costing $70 now. $70. So right now, when the new Call of Duty comes out, or any game at that, before the release of this and after, there will be a $60 version like normal. Oh yeah, and by the way, it comes with the Elite controller. That's fire. The games will be $60 for the Xbox pre previous gen, but like the gen right now. But I'm saying previous gen because this shit comes out in like a month. So $60 for the normal game, $70 for cross gen platform, which means $70 to where you can have it on this, your old Xbox, and your new next gen Xbox. That's how it is. And if you play, and you can play. Here's the thing too. You can play that $60 game on your new gen, but it's not gonna have the new gen upgrades. It's not gonna have the 120 hertz. It's not gonna have that 4K, that 1440. It's just gonna be the whatever experience you could get on the last Xbox. They'll give it to you on your new Xbox. But you pay $10 more, then you get your upgrade. See, that's how they getting you too. Sly, they slick. And then they got their $80, season pass, all that shit. What else is there to say? Here's the original. Here's the Xbox One X, Series X. God, I hate the name too. I hate the name. And as we can see here, this one's black. Comes with a black Elite controller. The S, Series S, was white. Comes with a white Elite controller. Some people, depending on their entertainment center design, they might be forced to go with the white one. Like I got a light white. I don't really care about the color, except I love the. I mean, I'm bringing up PlayStation. I love that white PlayStation so much, especially for the reasons I said, with the light strips and it being able to have an ambiance against the white case. It's perfect. But here, yeah, I would rather have a white Xbox because at my entertainment center, everything is all white. White cabinets, white PC case. I'm wearing a freaking, headphones white, mouse white, keyboard white. This is how it is. And I do that because of all the colors in this room. The lights, everything. You see how this this pink is like just bouncing off of all the white colors in here. Just that's what I like it. That's why I like it. There's not much else to say. Let me look at my notes. I know that Halo's not dropping. Assassin's Creed Valhalla is dropping a week early to somehow negate that, even though that's cross-plat. It's not really a big deal to me. I don't really give them any props for that. But we gonna have Cyberpunk. Literally, they have next to no exclusives on Xbox. And I'm not saying Sony. Sony does, but I'm not saying they got hella. They got their Ratchet and Clank. They got their Spider Man. They have their new IP. I can't remember the name. They got some. Sony got actually does have some games. Day one. I'm not gonna lie. And yeah, that's really about it. Backwards compatibility, all those third party games on day one. Feel bad for them on that. Got the monthly subscription. Pre orders start September 22nd. The launch is November 10th. And if you pre order it through sites like GameStop and Amazon, if you're not doing the monthly payments, if you go through them specifically, and I know freak GameStop, but at least what I'm about to say, they don't charge you right away. They'll charge you when it ships. Now Best Buy, they charge you right away, and then within a week they'll give you the money back, and then they'll charge you again, like when it ships. So that's annoying. So you can't if you don't want to pay for it now, September 22nd, but you're willing when it ships, here take my money. It's just how it is. And I recommend, those two sites if you want to do that. And if you don't care, go through Best Buy if you don't care, or X. I don't know how Xbox site does it. They might charge you right away and then give you the money back too. That's kind of the standard. But Amazon, GameStop, they don't. Yeah, that's really it though. That's it. I went through a good chunk of it. It's 20 minutes. If you like the video, subscribe, share it, leave some comments if you thought of anything I said, made sense or not. If you want to say anything, go ahead, say it there. Uh, till the next one. Till PlayStation 5 says whatever they got to say. Uh, right quick. I think place and like this is what's gonna. Gosh, I just gave an outro. I hope y'all didn't leave. Uh, this is what's really gonna fuck up PlayStation though. Is because you see the Series S is $299, the discless version, and then we're gonna see the PlayStation 5 discless version. It's not gonna be $299, and if it is, it's only because of this. It has the same power as the PlayStation 5, so they just can't make it unless the PlayStation 5 is already cheaper than I think. Then they unless the PlayStation 5 is like fucking somehow 350, 499. I can't see the discless version being much. I think it'll be $50 less, maybe 100, maybe 100. Maybe we'll see the PlayStation 5 at 499. We'll see the PlayStation 5 digital at 399. But it can't. It's not gonna. It's not gonna hit that 299. I'm sorry, and a lot of people are gonna look at that, not even think about the fact that the Series S is half and less than half the performance of the X, and they're gonna look at that and they'll be like, oh shit, hell no, I ain't gonna get that. I'm gonna get the Xbox. It's gonna be rough. I feel like I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they'll release a just like a PS5 Slim that's less powerful to compete. I heard rumors of Xbox releasing a Xbox Series V that has the same performance as the X, but it has no disc. We'll see what happens. Until then, though, I'm Tyler, aka TJK. Thank you for watching. I'm out.